Welcome into the Fired Up Weekly Recap, where we cover all things Carthage athletics. I'm Justin Corrigan. Today's episode is for Monday, November 3rd. 2 months are already down in the Carthage athletics year. Let's get right into the action from this past week, starting with women's volleyball. Firebirds opened things up on the road against UChicago in the Windy City on Tuesday. That was a 3-0 loss for the Firebirds. They dropped set one 27-25, then proceeded to fall 25-22, 25-13 to the Maroons on the road. Kristina Manojlovic, 10 kills, 4 blocks. Ava Detweiler, 14 assists, while Cassidy Stahl led the way with 14 digs. Then on Saturday, the Firebirds celebrated senior night against North Park in Tarbell Arena. It was a 3-0 victory for the Firebirds over the Vikings. 25-18, 28-26, 25-16 read the final box score. Look at the stats. Kristina Manojlovic, 13 kills. Ava Detweiler, 16 assists, 12 kills, and 5 blocks. Tatum Kevasek, 17 assists, and Jenna Damon, 13 digs. Firebirds return to action on the road this week to close out the regular season. They'll face Milliken in Decatur on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and then Carroll in Waukesha on Friday evening. Men's soccer concluded the regular season on Wednesday night at North Park in Chicago. That was a 2-2 draw to close out the regular season. Take a look at the goals. The Vikings jumped on the board first with Angel Arismedes in the 14th minute scoring the first goal for the Vikings. Carthage responded with a pair of goals, one from Adrian Atanasov in the 56th minute, assist credited to Emmett Hansen. Firebirds then took the lead in the 66th minute with a goal from Eli Schafstall. The Vikings would, however, tie things up and force the final draw with Adam Hamad in the 80th minute scoring the second goal today for the Vikings. Aaron takes 6 saves in goal for the Firebirds on the match. Firebirds made the CCIW tournament and traveled to North Central on Saturday, where they fell 1-0 in the opening round of the CCIW tournament. Joseph Sargent scoring the lone goal in the 27th minute for the Cardinals. Earning all CCIW recognition was Jordan Mock. He was named second team all-conference for the Firebirds. Then moving over to women's soccer, they also concluded the regular season on Wednesday, hosting North Park at Art Keller Field. It was a 1-0 victory for the Firebirds, the lone goal coming from Molly Castle in the 48th minute, assist going to Emma Amberg. Ainsley Stallworth, 7 saves on goal. The win secured the 3 seed in the CCIW tournament for the Firebirds, the first time the Firebirds had hosted a CCIW tournament game in over a decade. That game was played on Saturday evening as the Firebirds hosted Elmhurst at Art Keller Field. It was a tightly contested game, ending regulation at 1-1, with the 2 goals coming, one Carthage Maya Stone in the 21st minute. Elmhurst retaliated with a goal in the 24th minute from Maddie Cummings. Both teams battled through 2 overtime periods before going to penalty kicks, where Elmhurst would ultimately take the match 6-5 in PKs. Taking a look at all CCIW recognitions for the Firebirds, a historic year for them. First team Emma Amberg, it's the first appearance on the first team list for the Firebirds since 2019. And then on second team, Bella Fusco, Ruby Hillegas, and Ainsley Stallworth. It's the first time the Firebirds have had a second team appearance since 2022. Moving over to swim and dive, it was a second place finish at the Calvin Quad Invitational for the women's squad. They scored 960 points, falling just short of Calvin, who won the event with 1,411. Bree Skalski led the way for the Firebirds, placing third in the 400-yard individual medley in a time of 4:51.29. Skalski also placed fourth in the 500 freestyle. Lindsay Hackman also had an impressive day, third in the 200 individual medley and fourth in the 400 individual medley. Moving over to the men's side, they placed third at the Calvin Quad Invitational. Calvin took the event with a 16:30. Ohio Northern placed second with 719, and the Firebirds took third with 548 points. AJ Landorf led the way, second in the 200 individual medley with a time of 156.3, while also placing third in the 100 fly. Tatum Murphy also again claiming the win in the 1-meter dive with a score of 410.20. Both squads will return to action on November 14th as they travel to Wheaton, Illinois for a duel against the Wheaton Thunder. Bowling competed at the Windy City Classic in Des Plaines, Illinois this weekend. It was hosted by Valparaiso. They continued to show growth while gaining valuable experience throughout the 3-day event. They had chances to win 8 of 13 matches, but a couple mental lapses and missed spares ended up proving costly for the Firebirds. Let's take a look at the Friday highlights. Amaria Arciaga Sanchez converted 91.6% of single pin spares, while Kylie Baker led the team with a 38.8% strike rate. On Saturday, Torin Deacon averaged a 170.6 over 5 games, while Maxine Lathrop averaged 171.2 through 4 games. Allison Klock was perfect on single pin spares on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Ari Frost converted 80% of multi-pin spares with a 75% fill rate. Emma Winter added a 75% conversion rate on multi-pin spares to close out the weekend. Next up, the Firebirds will split into 2 squads as they compete at the Leatherneck Classic in Rockford, Illinois next weekend. Moving over to football, it was a 14-10 loss on the road at North Park on Saturday, getting into the scoreless after the first quarter. Second quarter, things started to move as Mugden Creo kicked a 29-yard field goal to give the Firebirds a 3-0 lead. North Park would retaliate with a 59-yard pick six from DJ Johnson, putting the Vikings up 7-3. Firebirds would end the half up 10-7, following an 11-yard touchdown pass from Easton Hefner to Gavin Betts. The score remained the same through the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, North Park found a way to win, scoring a 3-yard touchdown pass from Micah Catron to Carson Lewis with 1:55 remaining in the game. Taking a look at the stats, Easton Hefner, 22 for 39, 139 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Mark Hunter, 8 carries, 61 yards. Gavin Betts, 8 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, Britton Stanton, 6 tackles. Ramon Campos, 5 tackles and an interception. Firebirds return home this weekend as they take on Augustana at Art Keller Field on Saturday at 12 p.m. Men's cross country had a historic day at the CCIW Championships. The team overall took second, falling to North Central with a score of 60 points, the best score the Firebirds have tallied in over 50 years. That was led by Jacob Kurlewski, who was CCIW individual champion, winning the meet in 23:57.2. Jacob is our Jersey Mike's Firebird of the Week. Visit Jersey Mike's today at 3625 Market Lane in Kenosha or go to jerseymikes.com. Kurlewski is the first champion the Firebirds have had since 2002. And that brings us to one of our 2 Pullman Auto Stores stats of the day. We'll get to the second one in a moment. But Pullman Auto Store is located in Kenosha and Racine. Visit one of their stores today or go to pullmanauto.com. Like I said, Jacob, the first champion for the Firebirds since 2002 and the first champion to not come from North Central since 2008. As far as champions for Carthage go, Jacob is the 3rd champion in program history, joining Dennis Kramer, who took the championship in 1966 and 1969, and Hamilton Beal, who won the previously mentioned 2002 championship. Jacob was also named First Team All-CCIW and the CCIW Athlete of the Meet. Joining him on the First Team All-CCIW list was Harlan Matson, who finished 8th place in a time of 25:19.7. Connor Wood earned Second Team All-CCIW honors with a 20th place finish in 26:07. Rest of the scoring 5 for the Firebirds: Luke Adair in 21st place, 26:10, and Luke Davey, 24th place with a time of 26:22. Firebirds return to action on November 15th as they compete at the NCAA Regionals in Colfax, Wisconsin. Women's cross country, also an historic day at the CCW Championships. As a team, they placed 7th overall, but Kylie Florence leading the way with a 5th place finish in 22:50.5. That is the best individual finish for a Carthage student athlete in the CCIW Championships since Janelle Miner in 2019. Florence also earned First Team All-CCW honors and is our Jersey Mike's Firebird of the Week. Visit them today at their Kenosha location or go to jerseymikes.com. Jesse Bakaski also earning First Team All-CCW honors with a 10th place finish in 23:06.9. And that brings us to our second Pullman Auto Stores stat of the day. Once again, visit one of their locations in Kenosha or Racine or go to pullmanauto.com. This is the first time in the Firebirds program history that 2 Carthage runners have earned first team All-CCIO honors since the conference switched to first team and second team back in 2012. This is also the first time that the Firebirds have had 2 runners in the top 10 since 2008 when Ashley Johnson and Laura Pearson finished back-to-back in the top 10. Rest of the scoring 5, Natalie Forward 24-11, Kristen Faribault 24-15, and Allison Hunt 24-35. Firebirds will return to action at the NCAA Regional Championships in Colfax, Wisconsin on November 15th. Esports had a strong week in Week 6, highlighted by Rocket League success and continued growth for Valorant. Rocket League Red, now at 4-1, swept MSOE 3-0 in a rescheduled Wednesday match. Alex Valle, Owen Perry, and Kyle Bransky leading the way as they outshot MSOE 38-14 and led in all major stats. Perry tallied 5 goals, 3 assists, and 6 demos. Rocket League Academy White moved to 6-0 with a forfeit win over Milwaukee Gold. Valorant moved to 3-3 after falling 2-0 in a match against MSOE with a bind 13-7 and Ascent 13-2 finish. Talia Sullivan led Game 1 with 15 eliminations and 6 assists, while Aiden Hecht paced Game 2 with 11 eliminations. All Carthage squads return for WEC Week 7 action this evening as they look to improve upon their season. That is going to conclude things for today's episode of the Fired Up Weekly Recap. Be sure to tune in next week as both Carthage men's and women's wrestling kick off their season, as well as Carthage men's and women's basketball. That's right, college hoops is here. Winter is coming. Once again, be sure to follow Carthage Athletics on all social media. I'm Justin Corrigan. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Birds.